friends, neighbors, and of course the YouTube comment section. Again, this is like a couple videos with me being in front of the camera. Sorry. It's Thanksgiving week, y'all. It's kind of crazy around here, and it's like, it's 7:45 on Tuesday of Thanksgiving week, and I am here at VLM Cases and Soldering. Man, I've been kind of toying around with doing a series called Ask a Case Guy. I think that there's so much. It's really kind of funny. I mean, you know, I have my Ask Billy segment on the YouTubes because, you know, throughout my life, a lot of people just call me and say, hey, man, should I buy this? Because I have weird ADD about gear and stuff like that. And it's just been the thing that I really like the most in life. And growing up at LM, I've just been surrounded by professional audiovisual equipment my entire life. So whereas most people kind of, you know, especially with the world of pro audio, you sort of learn about it by going to Guitar Center or stuff like that. You know, I've seen what the biggest companies in the world do at a very, very young age. So, you know, it's kind of an interesting way of seeing things. But to that end, especially running the integration department here at LM, I am just exposed to different things. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there that just ask me questions because of that, because I just see things from a different side of the world. But I guess one of the things that I never really thought about when I started my YouTube journey when I was bored in 2020 is that I guess a lot of you are interested in what we do here at LM, not from a corporate standpoint, but kind of the side door that I call it of my own YouTube world. And, you know, I guess I didn't really think about that because I just grew up here. So, you know, at 38, LM is 39 years old. So I've been here my entire life. I used to change my diapers here when I was a kid. So a lot of that road case stuff, I guess I just kind of take for granted because it's just, I've just never not worked here. I've never not been in the orbit of LM. But one of the interesting things is, you know, I guess I never really talk about cases, so I thought it might be kind of cool to do a series called Ask a Case Guy. Because of that, just because a lot of people ask me about road case things, and, you know, again, I just never really thought it was that interesting because I've just been here my whole life. But I've been getting comments on the last couple of videos that I've been posting. It's like, hey, say more about LM stuff. So I'm going to do more LM content, not on the LM side of things. I mean, if you do want to follow LM, I also run that YouTube channel. There are also poorly shot and edited videos on that channel. Check that out. It's just LM Cases 1985. Clever name, I know. But today's episode 1 of Ask a Case Guy, I made a joke in my last video that I hate flip cases. And it's not that I hate them. And somebody commented on it, and they're like, why do you hate flip cases? It's not that I hate them. I just think that they have a very specific function, and I don't know that they're right for LM just because of the way that they're priced. So my dislike of them really just has to do with I can't build one as cheap as them, and it doesn't make a lot of sense from a business standpoint for me to try to compete in that arena because I have to say why my case that will cost 3x what the company that's established already does is worth your time, and the amount of R&D and that kind of thing that would be involved to do that just seems like it's not really worth it. If I could be just honest, I mean, that's just the truth. So, you know, we get requests for them a lot. Everyone's like, hey, can I get a flip case for an XYZ? And it's like, no, I just don't really want to do it. But I feel like beyond the profitability aspect of it, I will give you honest reasons why I, as a case guy who's grown up in the case industry and eats, breathes, and sleeps road cases 25/8, doesn't really like them. And that's not that I don't like them. I think they serve a function. I just don't know that they're a generic catch-all kind of thing. So here's what I'll say. To the compliment of that company, they're very cool. You guys won. You figured it out first, so respect. That's very cool. It's a slick design. I've only played with one. Our local production company has a Midas Heritage HD 96, and they have a flight case or the flip case for it, and it's cool. And here are the benefits, which I'm sure you guys probably know already. You don't need a console stand, which is a big deal. So if you're an opening act or even a headliner and you're one guy running a gig, you don't need to carry an easy up with you or find a dead cable case to put your console on. If you're a little guy like me, it makes a lot of sense. The lids are split. You can, at least on the HD96 console, the lids are split. You don't need two people to help you take your lids off. In that world, it makes a lot of sense. Ben told me that. Ben was using the HD96 on a gig, and he's like, I could never deploy this thing by myself if it wasn't in the flip case, and that makes a lot of sense. The other thing where I think they're cool is if you are in a venue and it's the house console. And 90% of the time, the console is up and living in the world. But if a headliner or somebody else brings their own console in, you need to quickly, put it in a back room kind of thing. It makes a lot of sense. Portable churches, same kind of thing. You just need to get rid of this thing really fast, or conversely, you have to deploy it really fast. The flip case makes a lot of sense. I totally get it. Here's what I don't like about it. The way that they work is that you're basically, think about it like this. Road case companies are basically like Taco Bell. So we all buy from the same two basic companies. There's Penelcom and there's TCH. And we have standards and practices that we've all kind of come up with over the past 40 or 50 years of all of us building cases, which, is relatively new. It just came around in the 70s kind of thing. We all kind of use the same stuff, right? So, you have 3/4-inch Baltic. That's what we build dog houses and racks and all that kind of stuff out of. 1/2-inch Baltic is another thing. These are hardwoods from Russia that are trees that are grown in very cold forests, so they're very durable and robust and all those kind of things. And that's what we use. That's what the higher end kind of stuff is made out of. And the way the flip cases work is they basically put the console in a tray made out of Baltic, and they take levels of 3/4-inch Baltic and stack it up. So you have a 2 and change inch thick Baltic piece that contours the side of the console. You smash it together. It's got some foam and some nice little suede things in there, and that's what holds it. And the flip mechanism of it is just a bearing. There are bearings on either side. The case flips on the bearing. It's supported by gas springs. So you open the two front doors, you pull the case up, it's supported by gas springs temporarily, you close the lid, you put it on it, Bob's your uncle, right? You're good to go. The only shock protection you get with that particular case is whatever the rubber foam thing that they use to grab the console. So here's the side, here's the wood, you're in, right? That's the only shock protection you get with it. The other thing is, the more lids that you put on a case, the weaker the design is. So let's look at an example like a rack. A rack with a front and back lid is pretty strong. When you take the lids off of that, you parallelogram. So when you're dealing with a non-shock mounted rack, as an example, the only thing that is really preventing your case from going parallelogram on you is the equipment in there, which is not great, but that's also why we use a shock rack. That's why we use a case within a case. So there's, for example, it's a 3/8-inch inner rack. There's 2 or so inches of foam, and then there's the outer case. Those cases aren't necessarily designed to absorb the up and down bounce of it. It's more to prevent, so when your case is going like this, it doesn't transfer this parallelogram movement towards your equipment. That's the real benefit of a shock rack. It's not really like this. A little bit, but the only way that foam absorbs shock is when it's in a state of compression. So for example, if you use really, really dense foam and you put really, really light things in it, and it doesn't smash the foam down just a little bit, you're not absorbing any shock. You might as well put it in a regular rack. That's why things like rubber ISO mounts and stuff like that in racks can get a little squirrely. If you notice, for military grade things that are using rubber ISO mounts, they ask you what the weight of your equipment is. That's so that the rubber can be in a state of compression so that it actually absorbs shock. If the rubber's too hard, it doesn't absorb any shock. Sorry, there's your... I know we're going on a lot of topics here, and these are subsequent videos that we should probably go into, but going back to the flip case, if you have a case that's just, say, like this, right? So if this is the back of the case where my thumbs are, the console is supported right here and right here on bearings, and it flips out. This will want a parallelogram on you. And the only thing that is going to prevent this from twisting is your console. So there's a board that goes underneath the console, so it's basically that. So when you're rolling the case down the road, you have a bearing that's screwed directly to the outer case, and it is absorbing all of the vibration and the torque of the case. So when you lift it up over a cable threshold, there's all that other kind of stuff. That's what it is. So I mean, again, if it's a house console, great, no problem. If you're moving the case yourself, the van tour, you know, the opening band, that kind of thing, great, you're probably going to be fine. If you're giving that to local one guys, you know, or you're sending it on a truck, or you're doing that kind of thing where you don't have control over it, it's not going in the back of the band van, it's not going in the back of a trailer, that kind of stuff, get a little squirrely on you. The other thing is gas springs, which we use a ton at LM, often colloquially called a gas shock. They're actually a gas spring. Think hatchback on your car. When it gets cold, the difference in temperature going from hot to cold, sometimes they get a little squirrely, sometimes they don't work. Any of you who live in a very cold climate will know that sometimes your hatch is a little heavier to open. So I don't love that that's the only means of support in certain instances. Now I know you have the front doors and it's not really a big thing, and it's, you know, you're dealing with a fulcrum, so you can pick your console up and set it back down on the doors. It's not a problem. So I mean, again, I'm beating that issue up a little bit. The other thing is the stability aspect of it. You know, you're taking the smallest plane of the case. Sorry, I'm not facing the camera. You're taking this and you're putting all of the center of gravity on this little piece right here. When you think about it, when you raise it up, it's on the wheels. So the only thing that's touching the ground is like that much of the wheel. It just seems like it'll be a little tippy. The other reason why I don't really love it is if you dump your console or the case falls over or that kind of stuff, I don't love the liability that you can be like, I put my console in your case and it broke. So are those like the soundest possible reasons for me to not like the case? No. You know, I feel like with everything there's compromise. Like there's 100 reasons why it's good. There's 100 reasons why I might not like it. But again, take my opinion of that with the bias that I am a road case guy. So, you know, I'm literally standing here in my LM Cases hoodie right now in LM Cases. So, you know, obviously I understand that there's a lot of bias in that. And I don't have a problem with it. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool design. I'm sad that I didn't come up with it first. You know what I mean? But it just, to me, I just would rather have a true flight case for my console. That being said, is there something in the back of my mind at every gig, especially, you know, where I'm mixing Spirit and those kind of bands that are like, you know, opening bands for national tours, and I'm like, God, I gotta ask somebody for a 30 by 30 to put my console on, or ooh, I can't lift this thing and I need somebody to help me. Like, yeah, of course. As, you know, a user of cases in addition to a builder of cases, there are certainly merits for that. So I mean, again, be an informed consumer. You know, be an informed consumer, make a decision that's right for you. I mean, just because you read it on some forum or you hear, you know, some, you know, guy who's underslept, over-caffeinated, supposed to be soldering XLRs while I'm talking to you, rantings of a madman, don't let that sway. I'm just, you know, trying to give you guys information. I mean, and I feel like that's what I think most of YouTube does, you know what I mean? Everybody's just trying to help each other out, which I, you know, appreciate as far as a community thing goes. And again, in the road case world, it's like I feel like there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and it's kind of weird. So I say the same thing all the time. Road cases look the same on the internet. Everybody's case looks the same. If you're looking at my case versus, you know, a case that you get on eBay or from, you know, another manufacturer, why would you buy an LM case versus an X or Y or a Z? You know, and that's just what you have to, you know, figure out as an informed consumer. So one of the reasons why I kind of like the low tech videos is, you know, you see all the warts. You know, I would rather that you buy something. You know, here's my sales pitch. I would rather that you buy something from us and you're happy and you either tell your friends that you had a good experience or you want to buy something again. I really don't want you to buy something from me and be like, oh, God, I got to call Billy from LM. He's such a pain in the butt to work with, and he's a jerk, and he doesn't let me talk, and he just tells me a bunch of crap. Like, I don't want that. I try to be the anti-sales guy as much as I possibly can while simultaneously selling you things. My YouTube channel. But that's basically the long and short on it on a flip case. So, in summation, again, help your underslept, over-caffeinated, tired Thanksgiving week pal out and give me the benefit of the doubt before you light me up in the comments section. Again, for LM, it's just I would do it, but if we took the design time to do it, it's going to cost 3 or 4x what the company that is already building them costs. And I just don't think that I can add enough value add to our case to make somebody say, oh yeah, I want the LM version of that. Not for all of the LED lights, Kung Fu grip, rack panel, blah, 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 all the stuff that LM does to differentiate ourselves. I just don't think that you guys would think it was worth it. If somebody really wants me to build a flip case, I kind of selfishly want to figure it out because I like the engineering challenge to be like, okay, I'm going to make you the bomb-proof one. I just don't know that the market will support it, kind of thing. We all, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, we all kind of buy from the same places. We're all buying from TCH. We're all buying from Penn. And it's basically like Taco Bell in the sense that it's how do you put, we have 10 ingredients, how do you put them together? And I think that's the big differentiator between case companies. We've all kind of carved out our niche. And again, like I said earlier in the video, I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm putting somebody down. We all do what we do. Flight cases are really expensive to ship, which is why case companies are so regional. You're basically shipping a big empty box. So, freight as far as LTL goes is all based around steel pricing. So you get cheaper freight rates if you occupy a very small amount of truck space and your stuff is very heavy. Well, LM specializes in flight cases, and we have a sister company within the same building that only does foam fabrication. So strike one and strike two, man. Where foam is the worst. You want to negotiate a freight rate on a bunk of foam. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's why when we buy foam, we buy a truck. And it doesn't even come in on pallets. We buy a 53-foot truck of foam in each flavor. So if we're using ester foam, we have to buy a 53-foot truck. And that comes not on pallets, loaded from the floor to the ceiling, from the nose to the tail, and we unload that thing by hand. Because that's the cheapest way to buy foam is when you have a truckload of it. So case companies are very regional in that way, because mostly just because of the cost to ship an empty case. It's just a horrible freight class, and you end up paying a lot of money, which is why everybody's just like, oh my God, I bought this case, and why is it so expensive to ship it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm rambling here. There's like a million video topics in here, so if anybody is wanting me to go into a road case specific topic based on this, just drop a comment below. But what I was saying is, I don't want to put anybody out of business. I don't want to talk bad about anything. The other case companies that are around the size of LM, we all have a good, positive working relationship. I'm never going to say anything bad about anybody. I think everybody pretty much makes good stuff. We do it a little different. We put things together a little bit different. But I mean, again, my dad has said it for years, and I agree with him. I don't want to put anybody out of business. Everybody has a right to make a living for them and their family. And even with the flip case thing, I mean, don't take this as me, saying bad things about anybody that makes those things. I am not. I'm just, it's a cool design. It's just, I just don't think I can build it competitively. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous to make this video, and hopefully I get the guts to to put it out, because I mean, again, I just, the YouTube comment section can be kind of brutal sometimes, and road cases I've certainly learned with my time at LM are very, people are very loyal to their company. I will only use LM because LM is the best. Well, I mean, I think so, but you know what I'm saying, and again, I don't have anything bad to say about anybody. I've been very blessed at LM, to work here my entire child and adult life. I started working here when I was 13. I worked in the hardware department when I was 13. I used to do all my summer vacations here. So, we've always been blessed with business, and we've always been blessed with very good customers, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. And again, I'm just trying to, just shed some light on something that I feel like a lot of people may or may not know about. So, I mean, again, I'm sorry to be so apologetic, but I really do only have the best intentions of making this video. So, take that as what it is. I'm not going for clickbait. I'm sure that maybe 100 or so of you will actually watch this video, especially to this point. So, it's just something that I've been kind of wanting to make, because we do get a lot of questions on that kind of stuff. So, like I said, if you have any questions about anything, I'm happy to tell you anything you want to know. I'm an open book as far as LM goes. So, if there's anything you guys want to know about road cases, or what LM does specifically, again, check us out. I'm pretty online with all that kind of stuff. With me build, I mean, I literally build all of our LM prototypes on my YouTube channel, and I show you guys the stuff that I mess up. So, I'm certainly not afraid of showing you anything crazy. So if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer it. And then, again, to that end, if you do feel like leaving a comment below, just make sure that's on the up and up. I don't want to talk trash about anybody. I mean, again, I respect every case company that's out there. We're all basically in the same business that doesn't have a huge profit center or a huge profit margin, and we're all just trying to exist, really, from the biggest company down to the smallest company. So, again, much love out there to any other case company that may be watching this, which I'm sure there'll be somebody. So, again, respect. I'm not trying to put anybody out of business. I'm trying to say that somebody does one thing better than another or anything like that. It's just, the rantings of an overworked case man that's soldering a mic splitter at 8 o'clock on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, please leave a comment below. If you guys like the Ask a Case Guy series, maybe I'll keep it going as an offshoot of Ask Billy. But if I don't talk to you between now and Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving for all of our American friends out there who are watching this. And to everybody else, just have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next one.